Is it a red flag liking Andrew Tate? So this guy I'm kinda dating, 26, recently told me that he likes Andrew Tate. As in he listens to his podcasts and actually agrees with most of the things he says. He did say that he doesn't agree on how he views women. However, everything else he is fine with. Honestly, we've talked about this topic so much that I can safely say that this grown man is a fan of Andrew Tate. I, on the other hand, completely disagree with Andrew Tate. To be fair, I have only seen what TikTok has shown me on him, but I think I get the gist of his ideals. I think that this is a major red flag, but I want to see what y'all think. Edit. Just want to clarify to those saying that I should decide for myself. I don't have the need to dive in more into what he says because the few things that I've heard, even if they're on TikTok or YouTube or Reels, wherever, I don't agree and are the complete opposite to what I believe in. Like I said, I think it's a red flag and was just curious what other people had to say. EDIT2. A lot of people are mad about. I have only seen what TikTok has shown. Why should I watch long videos or listen to podcasts starring someone who is constantly degrading me and encouraging his audience to do the same? Also, doing this would only give him even more money and an even bigger platform. Many comments already include either Reddit posts, articles or videos explaining more about what this man has said and done. So if anyone needs more information about the man that some are so arduously defending, scroll down. It's a whole damn textile plant that only uses red dye. Link. There you go. That's the guy that your guy likes. Edit. They the edit. Thank you for what I believe to be my first awards. I have to admit that I wish I had gotten some before for my witty comments, but this is probably a better reason. I agree with all the comments here. On top of that, he's probably telling you he doesn't agree with Tate's views on women to appease you. Considering that's pretty much Tate's whole persona, IDK how one could listen to him and not be misogynistic, racist, and or straight up dumb. Tate sort of makes a lot of money by a. Ripping off naive young men by playing to their insecurities and b. Converting young men into becoming abusers and or fellow scammers. So either he's dumb as a dog turd and getting scammed by a transparent pyramid scheme, or he's just a gigantic asshole. It could also be both. Human trafficking and rape allegations always seem to be red flags. Oh, and when he beat that chick with a belt. I used to like Andrew Tate. There were a lot of TikToks and shorts of soundbites that made sense to me. Then I started to listen to his podcasts and other interviews, and that's when I found out a lot of problematic things in his views. He has no nuance and a very rigid view of things. The more I listened, the more I disliked him. I soon understood his view of world as very unrealistic and childish tbh. He has also been caught making up statistics and numbers multiple times. 76% of statistics are made up on the spot. It's like Jordan Peterson. At the beginning, it's just a dude suggesting you clean your room and brush your teeth. After you've consumed like a week worth of his content, you slowly begin to realize that he has very dim views on a substantial number of people that you care about. The quote of his I couldn't get over is where he said something along the lines of, men and women haven't been working together very long, we don't have enough data to telephone if they can even work together effectively. Okay. Let's just ignore all the successful modern examples and imply that women in the workplace is just a risky social experiment. What an asshat. Q. Do you think men and women can work in the workplace together? JP. I don't know. Q. Without sexual harassment? JP. We'll see. Q. How many years will it take for men and women working in the workplace together to get a sense? JP. More than 40. Q. More than 40. JP. We're new at this, completely new at it. It's only been a couple of generations, and that's part of the problem. We don't know what the rules are. Here's a rule. No makeup in the workplace. Q. Why would that be a rule? JP. Why should you wear makeup in the workplace? Isn't that sexually provocative? Q. No. JP. What's the purpose of makeup? Q. Some people would like to just put on makeup to I don't know why. JP. Why do you make your lips red? Because they turn red during sexual arousal, that's why. Why do you put rouge, blush, on your cheeks? Same reason. I'm not saying you shouldn't wear makeup. I'm saying we don't know what the rules are, just so there's context. Not taking any sides, but that's a snippet on the interview in question. Why does anyone wear suits or try to look presentable? Honestly, I feel like he sounds like a modern Freud. Lol, not everything is because of sexual stuff. Q. But what if they wear black lipstick? JP. It will take me at least 40 years to handle that. Dear Lord, it even worse than I remembered. What a sleazeball. That's classic Jordan Peterson. With the interviews I've heard, often when an idea challenges his worldview he'll fall back on its complicated line of thought to distract from the most clearly observable facets of what is being discussed. What I disliked about him wasn't even so much what he said but how he said it, that is, if anything at all. He always goes, well, depends what you mean by success. Well, what does love mean? Sure. In philosophy class, that's great, but an interviewer or whatever asking that kind of feels different. If you asked your girl, boyfriend, do you love me, and they go, well, depends what you mean by love, probably gonna not feel good. Did you notice that he basically never pulls the what does X mean line of questioning on things he is clearly predisposed to agreeing with? He's not really using that type of questioning to dig into the truth. He's using it as a distraction, a technique to muddy the waters. Once you see it, it's obvious why it's happening. And if something happens, the fault is on the attacker. I've seen women flirt with men. She's in the wrong. Same with men trying to flirt with women after being told no. They are at fault. It's not that women and men can't work together, it's that bad shitty ass people can't work with the opposite sex. That's it. I work fine with men and women. Other men and women work fine with other men and women. Learn to evolve or get out. It's the same argument with races. Well, in 1600 we've never worked well with black people, so let's never work with black people. Lol. Men and women have only been working for roughly, and I mean very roughly in a manner similar to our modern understanding for about 4,000 to 5,000 years. But sure, let's take the last 80 or so years a solid indicator and base our beliefs on that. Your statistical analysis is the real asshat. Go back to sleep, Dingleberry. Men and women actually worked very close together for TGE vast majority of that time in the vast majority of cases. While there are plenty of examples of gender-specific tasks, historically, it's far more common to have a family working side by side with some specialization of specific tasks. Not the man goes out and works and the woman stays home and feeds the kids. So, yeah, looking at just things since the 1900s to now is pretty stupid, and Jordan Peterson is a fuckwit. No, he's got a point. Men should stay in the kitchen. Someone needs to stay home to cook dinner and do the laundry, after all. YouTube movie critic The Critical Drinker. At first kinda funny, grouchy, sometimes overly harsh critic after watching many videos. Oh, this guy has a fundamental problem with women. I agree. Also part of him seems like it's basically a WWE character. I think he somewhat believes what he says, but I think he goes overboard to get reactions because reactions is what drives his revenue. I thought the same thing of Gavin McInnes where I thought he genuinely had some funny sound bites and good takes. Then I started listening to his podcast and it was a lot more clear that this was more like some kind of cult than a comedy podcast. As a woman, I would consider this a deal-breaker. He says he doesn't agree with the opinions about women. I'm guessing because he's noticed you are, a woman. He's lying. I don't know anything about Andrew Tate other than what other people are saying in the comments, but some solid advice I heard from some old people one time was that core values are really important to be aligned with in a partner. Core values are hard to define, but in general, if you have a visceral hate against something or a huge passion about something, and the other person is the opposite, then the relationship is doomed to fail. It just depends on whether you will waste decades of your life before the inevitable divorce edit. And by something, I don't mean pineapple pizza or silly things. I mean like the underlying concepts a person stands for. Actually scratch that pineapple pizza should stay on this list then because it's disgusting and implies the person has something wrong with their brain for liking it. Yes. Huge red flag. He may not agree with his views on women, but he's willing to ignore that attitude. I don't know if I would believe him on not agreeing either.